Hey guys, so I'm going to be showing you two different makeup looks using two of the Yves Saint Laurent Rouge Pure Couture lipsticks. So hopefully you guys enjoy. So here's my clean face, and I'm just taking a bit of a face primer just so that way the foundation that I'm applying next goes on nice and evenly. And the foundations I'm using, actually I'm going to apply lip balm here just so that way the lipsticks that I apply are going on smoothly and my lips are not chapped. So the foundations, like I said, is the IT Cosmetics CC Cream with a bit of the IT Cosmetics Bye Bye Redness. So I'm just taking a little bit of both on the back of my hand, and then I'm taking a damp beauty blender just to mix the two together. And once I have that mixed in, I'm just going to blot on my face and just making sure that it all applies evenly, and making sure that it also goes into the hairline so that there's no obvious marks of demarcation. And then I'm going to be taking the Anastasia Brow Wiz, and I use the shade Dark Brown. I'm going to first brush out my eyebrows. That I'm doing here. And then just start filling them out. I start at the bottom and then just kind of fill in the tail and then any sparse areas in my brow. I sometimes also go over the arch a little bit just to raise it up a little bit, but not too much. But here on the other eye, I'm doing the same thing, just starting from the bottom, and then tail, and then any sparse areas. And then once I'm happy with what I have, I'm just going to brush out so that way the product evenly distributes through my brows. And then I am taking a clear brow gel, and this is just going to help define the brows and keep the hairs in place so they don't move all over the place. And then I'm taking a liquid eyeliner, which has a pointed felt tip pen at the end. And I'm going to try to kind of create a thin cat eye. And of course, liquid eyeliner is probably the hardest part of the makeup look. So I'm just doing my best here. You'll see in the other makeup look that they came out so incredibly uneven, but you know what? I just went with it. But here I am trying to get to getting them as close to being even as possible, and I'm happy with how this one came out, so that's good. And then I'm taking the Smashbox Full Exposure palette and taking the darkest color, matte color, with a fluffy brush. And I'm going to just blend this into my crease so that way it gives my eye a little bit more definition with the cat eye, so that way they look nicely put together, I guess. So yeah. Here, just give you a better view. So I'm curling my lashes here, and then I'll be taking my mascara, the IT Cosmetics Hello Lashes 5-in-1, with this awesome brush, and I'm just going to apply my mascara. I'm applying 2 coats so that way it gives a very thick, defined look to my lash. And I think defined a lot, I'm so sorry, but I like to apply 2 coats to the top and just 1 to the bottom. When I do these simple looks like this, I like to emphasize my eyelashes a lot, and then with the Rouge Pure Couture lipstick that I'm using, I'll also use that to kind of bring a little bit of an extra pop to my look. But here I am applying a rose-colored blush from Revlon with this blush brush. And I'm just going to apply that to the apples of my cheeks. And it just gives it a natural look, nothing really too crazy. Then here's the lipstick, the Rouge Pure Couture in number 19, Fuchsia, which is a fuchsia color. And here's the packaging, beautiful packaging. And the lipstick here. And imprinted on it is the YSL logo, which hopefully you guys can see. Kind of hard to. But here I am applying it to my lips. And just by those few little spikes on my lips, you'll see how pigmented they are. And here it is on the lips. It is beautiful. I love it. And here's the completed everyday look. And here I am completing the second look. Again, just applying lip balm first, just that way my lips are nice and moisturized and ready for the lipstick. And then I'm taking a small piece of tape and just applying it to the end of my lash line, just kind of from the bottom diagonal, just that way when I apply the eyeshadow, it gives it a clean, sharp look. But first I'm applying a bit of eyeshadow primer, so that way the eyeshadows last a while and are very vibrant. And then I'm taking that full exposure palette again, which I absolutely love, and I'm actually taking that color and the color to the left of it, which is a matte dark brown, which you don't really get to see, but I use it just so that way it really defines the eye a bit. And then I'm taking this julep palette with that middle color, and you'll see I'm applying it to my eyelid here. But I actually go back and use this gold from the full exposure palette just because it had a lot more shimmer than the other color from the julep palette. And I actually stick with this full exposure palette. But I'm taking this dark color with an angled fluffy brush, and I'm going to define the outer corner and crease. And just use windshield wiper motions to kind of blend it in the crease, and then a fluffy brush to kind of blend it out a bit more so it's nice and diffused. So here I am removing the tape. It's a bit tricky, but you'll see that it's a nice clean edge, and here I am just blending it out a bit more. And then I'm taking a shimmery color and just applying it to the inner corners, and then a mixture of the two shimmer colors from the left, just so that way I get more shimmer to my eyes, because really that julep color did not show any shimmer. But here are my eyes. Then I'm taking my foundation. I'm trying this one from Too Faced that I just recently purchased, and a wet beauty blender. And I am going to, of course, apply that to my entire face, making sure that it is evenly applied into my hairline and down my neck. And I'm taking an angled brush and a wet beauty blender. I'm just wetting the brush here because I didn't feel like going to the sink. And I'm using European Wax Center's brow powder in the shade Venice. I forgot to show it here, but you'll see eventually that the video cuts out and I would have my full makeup look done with lashes, eyeliner, blush, and contour. But here I am just applying the brows the same way I was with the Anastasia Brow Wiz, starting at the bottoms and then fluffing it upwards. So here is everything done except for the lips. I have to let my camera cool down a bit. But here is the next color, the Rouge Pure Couture lipstick in number 9, Rose Stiletto, which is a rich berry rose, which I absolutely love. It's great for every day. And I'm just going to apply that to my lips. Here's the completed look. So thanks again for watching, and thanks again to Influencer for sending me the 2 Rouge Pure Couture lipsticks from YSL. They are awesome. They're extremely creamy, and look how pigmented they come out. So they are totally worth the range of price that they are. And if I were to try out another shade of lipstick, Sephora has like all the colors there, and the one I was looking through is called Mauve Nihiliste. I hope I'm saying that right, which is a deep mauve. So yeah, thanks again for watching, and I hope I'll talk to you guys soon. Bye!